Hi everyone, it's Natalie again, and today I'll be drawing a face with some really pretty flowing hair. To color this, I will be using Prismacolor colored pencils. These are my personal favorite in terms of colored pencils. They work really well, they're very smooth, they blend easily with each other. I highly recommend them. And for the hair on this piece, I'll be using acrylic paints to color it in. And the colors I'll be using are primarily orange colors and some white to make it a lighter orange, but this will be the primary color for the hair. Okay, so right now I'm going to begin with coloring the eyes because eyes are my favorite thing to color. Hold on, let me grab my pencil sharpener. Probably should have sharpened these ahead of time. But okay, let's begin. When coloring with colored pencils, it's always a good idea to slightly clean up pencil marks ahead of time because of the fact that they can smear with the colored pencil and it would be really hard to remove at that point. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. Since I'm making the hair an orange color, I'll make her eyes a turquoise color because those two colors go really well together. Maya asks, how do you decide what shades to use? Whenever I decide the colors that I'm using, the shades of a specific color, it just depends on my likeness for the color. For example, I chose the blue for the eyes because of the fact that the hair will be orange later and it will contrast with that, which would make it pop. As for like shading, I usually go from the darkest to lightest. Some are standard, such as coloring things that are white. I typically use the white, the gray, and the black. For the skin though, it's a little more complex than that because it involves different colors such as blues and purples because human skin, it has tons of colors in it. If you were to look at your skin, it's not just like a light earthy tone and then every color that's darker than that. There's so much more. There's reds and purples and blues as well. Clean up the pencil. Anne asks, how long have you been drawing? I've been drawing since middle school. Taylor asks, how long did it take you to draw this? This sketch took me about 15 minutes, I'd say. I drew it not too long ago, right before I started this video, in fact. It's the coloring that takes the longest. Let me sharpen this. Desiree asks, how did you learn to draw? I learned to draw through practice and watching videos online or just reading blogs about making art. A lot of it just comes from studying art, looking at art, seeing how an artist creates the illusion of depth on a canvas or on paper. Again, just practice. These pencils, again, are Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. You can find them at craft stores such as Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and you can also get them on Amazon. To Maya, what kind of paper do you use? I use Strathmore toned gray paper. I bought this paper in the form of a sketchbook because it's really nice and portable. I would strongly recommend this paper to anyone who hasn't tried it before because you'd be surprised at how nice this paper is. It really makes colored pencils pop because it contrasts with the darkened paper. And whenever you use a white colored pencil on the paper, the white stands out and it's really cool. To Lori, yes, I do sell my pictures, and if you're interested, please contact me on Instagram. The link to my Instagram is in the description of this video. Hold on, I'll be right back. My dog just came inside. Okay, I have returned. Julian asks, how long will it take you to finish this one? Drawings like these can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and 30 minutes to finish. Some other colors for the skin. To Desiree, what color hair are you going to do? I'm going to do a really nice orange color for the hair. To Chan, when you draw a portrait, what do you draw first? The first thing I typically draw are the eyes, because like the eyes are a good central point to focus on, because I think that eyes can really make or break a portrait. Sometimes I start with other things. It's usually either the eyes, nose, or lips, because those are all central features on the face. Oh, to Lisa, this is a person that I made up. I've been drawing faces for a long time, so I have a general understanding of how to construct one just by drawing features on their own, and that's what I did for this. I just drew a random face. To Laura about relaxing music. I've actually thought about doing that. However, first I'd need to download the music onto my phone or something, because if I stream something like YouTube or Spotify while I try to stream this video, it can cause some Wi-Fi problems and the video may buffer or become blurry, and I really don't want that to happen. But I would love to listen to music a lot because music helps me work sometimes. To Chan, is it tough contouring all the colors in the face when you're coloring it? Sometimes it can be. Sometimes the colored pencils, they don't blend exactly how I pictured them to blend, and it can be a little frustrating to blend in colors such as violets and blues, but the general contouring that I do to just shade in the features, I'm really comfortable with doing that, so it's not as difficult, but trying to blend in other colors can be difficult sometimes. To Desiree, do you enjoy drawing? Yes, I really enjoy drawing. It can be relaxing for me, and it's just a lot of fun to color things. To Chan, advice for someone who's learning to draw faces. I would strongly recommend buying yourself a sketchbook where you can practice and keep record of your progress. In that sketchbook, you should try to draw different parts of the face, like focus one page on drawing eyes, another on noses, and then lips, to where you can truly like fine-tune your skills on drawing each of those features, and you can understand what you need to work on, and of course practice drawing entire faces as well. To Lisa, did this come naturally, or did you take classes? This came to me naturally. Honestly, I've done a lot of practice, but I've never really taken like a formal art instruction class. I do take art classes at my school, however, those are primarily focused on just making your own artwork during the block and getting advice from the teacher, using resources if you need it. It's not really instruction based. To Kaylee, do I draw every day? I try to during the summer. I've drawn every day. However, during some parts of the school year where I have lots of exams or studying that I need to do, I don't draw so much. For example, the end of this previous school year, which was like the past few months, I was swamped with SATs and IB exams, so I had a lot to do and I didn't get to draw every day. But whenever I don't have things like that, yes, I do draw every day. To Evelyn, am I drawing someone specific? No, I am not. This is just a random person that I constructed before this video. To Christy, is there a special something you love to draw the most? I like drawing people and faces the most. That's what I'm most comfortable with. However, sometimes it can be frustrating, but it's really rewarding in the end, in my opinion. Oops. To Hala, how old are you? I'm 16 years old. To me, any advice for drawing lips and noses, please? That's actually a good thing to ask for. I have trouble with drawing noses and eyes sometimes, and not eyes, but noses and lips. Those tend to be the most challenging. What I would do is, like, if you have a sketchbook or anything, just get some paper and practice drawing those two features specifically. Look at different pictures of noses and lips from different angles, different positions for the lips, and just practice drawing those. Really, practice is the key to drawing things. If I didn't get to your question, you can ask it again, and I will read it again. Sometimes I don't see every comment because they move up on the list. I can only see about 4 at the same time, just so you know. No, Samantha, I agree with you. Noses and hands are indeed the worst, especially hands. Hands are extremely frustrating sometimes, but on occasion, like, I'll draw a hand and I get it right and it looks amazing and I feel really happy about it. But that's very rare to happen. To Sylvia, the hair is going to be orange. To Evelyn, is your hair orange? No, my hair is not orange. My hair is just typical brown. Oh, the drawing's hair, it won't just be like a typical orange, but it's going to be like a bright orange. Here, I'll show you. This is the paint that I'll be using. To Borley, the Prismacolor set that I'm using is this one, Prismacolor Premier. This is a 48 count set. I got this from a friend as a Christmas present. It used to be theirs, but they didn't use it anymore, so they gave it to me. It was very generous of them. To Lisa, the colors that I decide to use while drawing, most of the time I have an idea of what colors I'm going to be using ahead of time, such as like the browns for the skin. However, For this, I kind of decided on that eye and hair color last minute just because I thought it would look nice. Last time I drew someone with bluish turquoise hair, and today I thought I'd do an orange hair. To me, if she was real, what would her name be? I never really name my pieces with like, real world names, but you guys in the comments, you can name her if you'd like. I'm cool with that. To Elena, yes, I can draw more than faces. If you want to see some of the other things that I draw, go to my Instagram. I post a lot there. The link to that is in the description of this video. What was your inspiration for this piece of art? This piece of art in particular, I didn't necessarily have a direct source of inspiration for it, but it's just something that I like to draw a lot. I like to draw faces, and I like to draw the hair being really flowy and free, and I just find it aesthetically pleasing. What am I saying? Aesthetically pleasing, so I just drew one for today. Oh, to Brandy, have you ever thought of doing illustrations for children's books? It's funny you ask that because in 8th grade there was this one project that we did in science class, and the project was to write a children's book about, we were given an option of like gravity, the tides, or seasons, and so my friend and I, we wrote one about the seasons, and I illustrated it, and the whole class voted on which ones should be published, and the teacher took the winning books to this like, small publisher, and they got them published, and mine won. It was so long ago I forgot where I have the book, but it was just a fun little project. To Evelyn, what grade am I in now? I am a senior in high school. To Lainey, do you like to draw? If you do, what is your favorite piece? I really like drawing and painting, just making art in general. My favorite piece actually is one that I'm working on right now. It's a painting of a girl with lots of freckles. You can see it on my Instagram if you'd like. It's still a work in progress right now, but I'm hoping to finish it in the next few days. Are you going for an art degree in college? I really don't think that I will pursue a degree in art in college. Right now, I hope to major in computer science because that's something else I do. I'm really interested in building technology and things like that. And since I have a lot to learn there, that's why I want to go to school for it. To Kimberly, what kind of paper are you using? I'm using Strathmore toned gray paper. Okay, to Jen, your daughter Jasmine is looking for advice for art. Well, hi Jasmine. Some advice that I can give to you is just to practice drawing a lot. Draw things that you like. Draw things that, like, for example, if you wish that dogs had wings or something like that, draw that. Just use your imagination to draw and see where it takes you. Don't worry if your drawings don't look super realistic all the time because it's difficult to do that. And it's important that you keep to your own imagination and you run with that. Practice a lot, practice every day, draw as much as you can. Okay, now I'm going to begin painting the hair. This part is always so much fun because paint is a lot of fun to work with. We'll begin with the orange. Oh shoot, it's clogged. To Brandy, what got you started in mixed media art? Anything in particular? What got me started in mixed media art was the fact that, primarily whenever I was younger, I would mostly use markers, and that was limited to ink. And there were a lot of things that I couldn't do with that because, like, for example, finer details such as hair could be difficult to draw. So whenever I took a ink drawing, I put colored pencil over it to tune in on those finer details, and it's worked really well for me, and I've continued to do that. To Nella, no, the paint does not bleed through the paper that I'm using right now. should have grabbed a larger paintbrush. It's okay though. Okay, me says, when I'm drawing / painting, I find hours will have passed without even noticing. It's a wonderful feeling. Do you find that this happens to you whenever you are drawing or painting? Yeah, that happens to me a lot of times, especially whenever I'm painting. Time just goes by really quickly. In fact, just doing these quick little drawings on Quirky Mama for you guys, I find that the time goes by really quickly. And I always keep my computer next to me so I can check on the time because I don't want to get too behind. I try to finish the pieces during the time period that I have with you guys, but that doesn't always happen. Too early, where's the best place to get a sketchbook? I would recommend going to Hobby Lobby. There's I believe it's like $12. It's just a plain sketchbook that I get. It's a black cover, it's a hardcover sketchbook. I recommend hardcover sketchbooks because they last longer, they keep all the pages together compared to spiral ones, which can sometimes break. Yeah, I would just go to Hobby Lobby, get a simple $12 sketchbook. Be careful though whenever you buy them because some sketchbooks you'll see there, they'll be wrapped in plastic so you can't preview the type of paper that you're buying, and I did that before I bought one of those and the paper quality was really bad. It was like manila paper where any pencil would put a hole through the paper, so just make sure you know what kind of paper you're buying before you buy the sketchbook. I wouldn't recommend buying the ones that are sealed in plastic because those are usually hiding the fact that the paper is terrible. To Jessica. Hi Claire, I'm glad that you're enjoying watching these. To Samin, why did you choose this color for the hair? I chose this color because, well, I have this basket full of different paint colors and I haven't used this color in a while, so I thought, why not? To Brittany, hello Elijah. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. Borley, do you find composition to be difficult when selecting your subject? For simple faces, I don't find it that difficult, but whenever I'm drawing things that are more complex, such as people that are doing certain actions with hands everywhere, arms and stuff, that can be more difficult because I have to coordinate not only just the face, but I have to coordinate the arms and those hands and everything. So that can be kind of difficult sometimes. But something like this isn't too difficult. To Donna, have you ever taken a picture that you drew and made it into a painting? A picture, like, okay, well, most of my paintings, they start out as drawings because that way I can plan my ideas out and everything. And once I'm done with the drawing, I usually scan it on the computer and I project it onto a wall. I hang up the canvas and I copy it onto there. That way I can draw something in my sketchbook and then replicate it on a canvas, which is much larger. But yeah, I do that most of the time. Mostly whenever I do that, I have the intentions of painting something in mind. However, there's been a few times where I've drawn something and I liked it to the point where I decided to paint it. To Adele, do I do this for fun or for commissions? I do both. I draw for fun, and if someone wants to commission me to do something, I can definitely do that. If you're interested, please contact me on Instagram via direct message. Do you usually use pencils on the face or do you recommend paint? I do both. On my canvas paintings, I use paint obviously, but on paper I would recommend using pencils or ink just because painting on paper I find is more difficult. However, things like the hair is really simple to do, but shading so many different layers and colors with paint on paper can be really difficult sometimes because due to the amount of liquid involved, it may cause the paper to warp, and that's just no fun. To Ashley, my Instagram name is Cygann, Cygann. However, you can just look at the description of this video and you will find my Instagram link. To Borley, have you used canvas paper? I have not. I've only used just regular canvases and canvas boards before, but I've never tried canvas paper. Have you? Is it any good? I'm curious. Oh, to Bia, did I finish the cat from last night? I have not yet. Last night I was really tired, so I went straight to bed, but I will have it up today. To Michelle, what kind of paint is this? This is Craftsmart acrylic paint from Michaels. To me, do I ever draw fictional characters? I don't do that so much anymore. However, whenever I was younger, that was mostly all the artwork I did because I was obsessed with drawing fictional characters. That was actually how I got into drawing in the first place. But no, I mostly just draw imaginative people. They're not necessarily like established fictional characters in books, movies, video games, etc. To Kayla, yes, I do commission work. If you're interested, please contact me on Instagram via direct message. To Nella, the paint I'm using is Craftsmart acrylic paint from Michaels. This is really old paint. I'm finding chunks of dried paint inside of the bottle. Yeah, I think I bought this specific bottle of paint probably like 4 years ago. To Shelby, it usually takes me anywhere from an hour to an hour and 30 minutes to finish these paintings. To Christine, how long have I been painting? I've been painting since the end of my sophomore year. Currently I'm a senior, so only, like, I guess, maybe just about a year, because that was the very end of my sophomore year. But as for like coloring and other drawings, I've been doing that since middle school. To Janae, how long have you been drawing live? This live video has been going since 11 a.m. And I'm about to end it in a couple of minutes because I just have until noon. Okay, how do you manage to read messages while drawing? Well, I have my phone out, which is also recording it, and on the bottom of the screen I see a feed of messages, which are your guys' comments, and I can just look up at it and I read them. However, I'm not able to see all of them at the same time because I'd have to scroll up to do that. So if I don't get to your question, I'm really sorry. Alright, it's time for me to go now because it's a minute until noon. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the comments that you guys send. I'll post a picture of the finished piece up later along with the cat from last night. So bye guys. Thank you.